I got ink across my shoulders, down my arms, across my chest. Every needle, every line is a chapter I confess. There's a cross from '09 when I thought I'd found the light, a skull from '06 when I was running through the night. Her name's still on my ribcage, though she's been gone 10 years. A phoenix on my back for all the times I rose through tears. Some people read the Bible, some read poetry, but you can read my story in the ink that covers me. Every mark's a memory, every shade's a different day. Some I got in darkness, some when I was finding my way. These are my tattoos and testimonies, written on my skin in permanent ink. Every scar, every star, every prayer I couldn't say, every mistake that I can't erase away. Some are beautiful, some I regret, but they're all part of the story that ain't over yet. 'Cause grace don't judge the canvas, it just adds another layer. These tattoos and testimonies are my body's way to pray. I met a man at church who saw the ink upon my arms, asked me if I knew that my body was a temple meant for sacred charms. I said, sir, I understand and I respect your point of view, but maybe God's okay with stained glass windows in his temple too. 'Cause every piece of art here tells the truth I couldn't hide, about the wars I fought, the loves I've lost, the times I nearly died. And if my skin's a temple, then these marks are stained glass stories of a broken man becoming, of the struggle toward his glory. Every line's a lesson learned, every image tells a tale of grace that met me in my mess and said you will not fail. These are my tattoos and testimonies, etched into my flesh like ancient art. Every rose, every thorn, every battle that I won, every time I broke and then restarted from the start. Some are faded, some are bright, but they're all proof that I'm still in the fight. 'Cause Jesus wore his scars with pride, showed them to his friends when he was glorified. These tattoos and testimonies say I'm alive and I'm still here. Maybe holiness ain't perfection, maybe it's the marks we bear that prove we've lived and loved and lost and found redemption there. Like Thomas needed to see the nail prints to believe that Jesus rose. Maybe my tattoos are evidence that grace can work with what is chose. Not blank canvases and perfect skin, but marked and scarred and weathered men who walk through fire and come out changed with stories written on their frame. Every tattoo's a testimony of a moment in my past, but the greatest story written on me is the one that's gonna last when all these inks have faded and my body turns to dust. The story of redemption is the one that Jesus does. These are my tattoos and testimonies, written on this temporary skin. Every word, every bird, every symbol that I earned, every chapter of the man I've been. Some I'm proud of, some bring shame, but they're all covered by his name. 'Cause he's writing something deeper than the ink beneath my shirt. He's writing my redemption on a heart that's been through hurt. These tattoos and testimonies, they're the scars I choose to show, but the greatest testimony that He's making whole. Every mark tells a story, every story leads to grace. These tattoos are just the surface, He's rewriting every page. There's a place off Highway 9 where the neon sign don't work right. Just says bar and flickering red against the southern night. The floor's all sticky jukebox, plays the same old Hank Williams song. And the people drinking here ain't the type you find in church at dawn. There's Jimmy with his third divorce, Sarah with her second DUI. Old Tom who lost his son in Iraq and drinks to ask God why. The bartender's name is Ray, been sober now 3 weeks. And somehow in this broken place there's something holy when we speak. Maybe Jesus meant it when He said He came to find the lost, 'cause He sure ain't in the steeple, He's here paying the cost of being the God of the small town bar, where the broken and the bruised are showing every scar, where nobody's pretending they've got it all together, where the only thing we're hiding behind is weather-beaten leather. He's sitting at the counter with a ginger ale and grace, looking at the wreckage with love upon His face. They say He dined with sinners, where the invitation's still open wide for the God of the small town bar, who pulls up a stool and sits beside the ones the church forgot. I met Him on a Tuesday when I'd hit my lowest low. Lost my job that morning, had nowhere else to go. I walked into this dive bar, ready to drink myself to sleep. And there beside me at the bar sat a stranger, buying drinks for me. Not whiskey, just some coffee. Said, brother, you look beat. We talked until the sunrise about failure and defeat. Somewhere in that conversation, somewhere in his eyes, I saw the face of Jesus, and I broke down and I cried. He said, I've been waiting for you here. I knew you'd find your way to the place where broken people come when they got nothing left to say. 'Cause I'm the God of the small town bar, where the wounded come for refuge underneath the neon stars, where the drinks are cheap and the grace is free, where you don't need your Sunday best to come and talk to me. I'm sitting at the counter every single night, waiting for my children to step into the light. I dine with tax collectors, prostitutes, and thieves. I'm the God of the small town bar, and this is where I'm meant to be, among the ones who know they're lost. 'Cause the Pharisees had temples, but they didn't have the key to understanding that the kingdom isn't where you think it'd be. It's in the dive bars and the diners, in the truck stops and the streets, where real people with real problems are just trying to make it through the week. And maybe church ain't just a building with a steeple pointing high. Maybe church is any place where broken people testify to a God who meets them in their mess, who doesn't wait for them to clean up first, who sits among the alcoholics and the addicts and the cursed, with nothing but compassion, nothing but an open door. The God of the small town bar says, this is what I came here for. I'm the God of the small town bar, where the lost sheep come when they're tired of running far, where there's no judgment, no condemnation here, just open arms and open ears. I'm
sitting at the counter every closing time, waiting for another wounded soul to cross that line. Between the darkness and the light, between giving up and one more fight, I'm the god of the small town bar, and I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here when the doors open wide, I'll be here when they close for the night. 'Cause I came to seek and save what's lost, and the lost don't gather in cathedrals, they gather here where grace don't cost a thing except surrender. I'm the god of the small town bar, and this is holy ground. The lights come up at 2 a.m. Grace stays open all night long in the small town bar where God's been here all along. I've been playing dive bars from Baton Rouge to San Antonio, singing songs for whiskey money, sleeping where I roam. Spend my 20s chasing women, spend my 30s chasing fame. Now I'm 53 and wondering if I've wasted all my days. I grew up hearing mama say, son, don't you wait too long to make your peace with Jesus. You don't know when you'll be gone. But I was young and foolish, thought I had all the time. Now the sun is setting on my life, and I'm running out of time. But something in the twilight whispers, hope is still around. That mercy doesn't keep bankers' hours closing when the sun goes down. 'Cause heaven don't close at sundown, the doors stay open through the night for the ones who spent their whole life running from the mercy and the light. It don't matter if you're coming at high noon or 3 a.m. Heaven don't close at sundown, there's still time to come on in. The thief upon the cross got saved with his very final breath. Heaven don't close at sundown, there's grace this side of death. I remember reading Matthew about the workers in the field, how the ones who came at evening got the same deal as the deal for those who work from sunrise. And the boss man said it's fair, 'cause grace ain't about deserving, it's about a God who cares. Now I'm standing at the crossroads with my guitar and my regrets, wondering if it's too late, if I've used up all my chance to get right with my Creator, right with all I've done. But the sky's still holding color even after the sun. And something in that lingering light gives me hope to believe that the God who paints the sunsets still accepting folks like me. 'Cause heaven don't close at sundown, the invitation's always there for the prodigals who wasted years but finally found the way back. Where
They started where they're wanted, where the Father's waiting still. Heaven don't close at sundown, and I'm learning that it never will. The woman at the well got saved at the hottest part of day. Heaven don't close at sundown, come early, come late, either way. Oh, maybe that's the scandal of the gospel that we preach, that God don't play favorites with the early birds or latecomers he'll reach, that the ones who find him at 11:59 get the same salvation as the ones who walk the line their whole lives through. 'Cause grace ain't mathematical, it don't divide by time served. It multiplies infinitely for everyone who's heard and answered, yes, I'm coming, whether young or whether old. Heaven don't close at sundown, it stays open for the lost souls who spent their whole lives wandering and finally turned around. Heaven don't close at sundown, and I'm homeward bound right now. 'Cause heaven don't close at sundown, there's no last call, no final round. For the ones who've lived in darkness but are finally glory bound. It don't matter what your past is or how long you stayed away. Heaven don't close at sundown, there's mercy in the dying day. I'm 53 and broken, but I'm walking through that door. Heaven don't close at sundown, and tonight I'm coming home for sure. Yeah, heaven don't close at sundown, the lights stay on for you and me. The ones who thought we'd missed it, but found we're right where we're supposed to be. Heaven don't close at sundown, thank God it don't close at sundown. The sun may set, but the door stays open all night long. Heaven's always home. Thank God it don't close at sundown. I've been out for 7 months from a 10-year stretch upstate, for things I did when I was young and full of foolish hate. The world looks different now, the town don't feel the same. People cross the street when they see me, they remember my last name. But there's a bend down by the willow trees where Daddy used to take me, with a fishing pole and a tackle box back when life was easy. So I drove out there this morning with the sun just coming up, to see if that old river still remembers what I was. Before the prison number, before the orange suit, before I threw away the man that Daddy raised to tell the truth. Down where river knows my name, not the one I made in shame, but the boy who used to laugh and cast his line where the water runs so clear. It don't hold on to yesteryear, it just keeps flowing, keeps on going, teaching me that I can too. Down where the river knows my name, the one that Daddy gave me, not
not the one the judge proclaimed, where the current washes clean all the years caught in between who I was and who I'm trying to become again. I sat down on the same old rock where I sat at 8 years old, before I knew that life could be so cruel and hard and cold. And I swear I felt my daddy there, felt his hand upon my shoulder, heard him say, son, everybody falls, but you're gonna get back older and wiser than you were before, stronger than you've been. The river kept on moving like it always did back then, not stopping for my mistakes, not judging what I've done, just flowing toward the ocean like redemption's just begun. And I understood right then that forgiveness is a river that keeps on moving forward, washing guilt away forever down. Down where the river knows my name, the one I'm trying to reclaim, the man my father saw in me before I fell, where the water don't hold grudges, don't remember all my failures and my faults. It just accepts me as I am and carries me along. Down where the river knows my name, not convict, not inmate, just a son who's coming home a little late, where the currents always knew every moment flowing through, teaching me that yesterday don't have to be my fate. Maybe that's what baptism means, that we can be washed clean, not just once but every morning when we step into the stream of grace that keeps on flowing, never stopping, never still, taking all our yesterdays and carrying them until they disappear into the ocean of God's mercy running deep, where all our sins and all our shame get swallowed by the sea, and what's left is just a person standing on the shore with a chance to start again like they've never lived before. Down where the river knows their name, the one that God has spoken, not the one that's bound in chains. Down where the river knows my name, I found the first sign of my freedom, standing by the water feeling rain, or maybe they were tears, I couldn't tell, but either way it felt like heaven washing over me and breaking every spell that prison put upon my soul, that shame hung my back. Down where the river knows my name, I found the way back to the boy I used to be and the man I'm gonna be, where the water runs forever and the past can't follow me. Down where the river knows my name, my real name, my true name, the one my father gave me before I knew what shame was. Down where the river knows my name, and forgiveness flows the same. The river keeps on moving, just like grace keeps on forgiving. Down where the river knows my name, I'm finally living. I'm finally living.
I still reach over to hold your hand when
when I'm turning left on right. Still catch myself about to tell you about my day. The radio plays our old song, and I don't change the station. Just drive a little slower like we've got nowhere to be today. The passenger seat's empty, but I keep it clear. Nobody sits there, hasn't since you disappeared into heaven or wherever good souls go. But I talk to you like you're right here, 'cause I need you to know that death can take a lot of things, but it can't take away the love that we built over 47 years and days. The sea beside me is still yours. I'm saving it for when we meet again, on streets of gold or maybe back roads like before, where we can drive forever, never reach the end. They say that grief's the price we pay for love. Well, I'd pay it twice if I could have one more mile with you sitting there like you always were, making every ordinary moment worthwhile. The sea beside me is still yours, and it'll stay empty till I see you once more. I drove past the spot where I proposed to you in '76, that overlook above the valley where our whole life got fixed. In motion toward this moment, toward this truck, toward this road, toward me driving solo but not feeling quite alone. 'Cause I believe what the preacher said at your funeral last year, that death's not the ending, it's just different kinds of near. That you're closer than the air I breathe, you're just on the other side of a veil so thin that sometimes I can feel you right beside me. In this old Silverado, me in this life I'm still living through, waiting for the day when there's no veil between me and you. The sea beside me still yours. I'm keeping it sacred, keeping it free, for the reunion that's coming when I reach that final shore, where you'll be waiting there for me. They say that heaven's got no tears of pain, but I hope it's got these back roads and this rain, so we can drive together like we used to do, when every destination mattered less than being next to you. The sea beside me is still yours, always has been, always will be yours. Maybe faith is just believing that love's stronger than the grave, that the bonds we forged in living are the ones that God will save from the clutches of forever, from the silence and the dark. Maybe heaven's just a place where every separated heart gets reunited with the ones who made this life worth living through. And I'll take that passenger seat's emptiness if it means I'm coming back to you, 'cause you're not really gone, you're just ahead of me, waiting down the road at our eternity. The sea beside me is still yours, and I talk to you like you can hear about the grandkids growing up and how I miss you more with every passing year. But it's not a hopeless missing, it's an I'll see you soon kind of ache. The sea beside me is still yours, and I'm just driving toward the day when you slide in like you never left, and we take off on forever's highway. The sea beside me is still yours, till death brings us together once again. The sea beside me is still yours, my love, my life, my friend. I'll see you soon, darling. Save me a spot up there. seat beside me, still yours, always yours. Lord, I know she's with you now, safe, whole, free from pain. And I'm grateful, but God, it's hard, this empty seat. This life we built together is so hard doing it alone. I keep talking to her because I believe love doesn't just end when someone dies, that what we had matters eternally, and I'm asking you, let me see her again. Let heaven have reunion, not just spiritual but real, where I can hold her hand, hear her laugh, tell her one more time how much she meant. Until then, I'll keep driving, I'll keep believing death isn't the end of love, just temporary separation. And I'll keep trusting you're preparing a place where we'll be together again, forever. Thank you for giving her to me. Thank you for every mile we drove together. And thank you for the promise that one day that seat won't be empty anymore. I'll see her soon, Lord. Keep her safe until I get there. Amen.